Got the top-seeded team in the country, Jacksonville State. And Scotty, you have somebody with you. Charleston Southern's never been in this position before. How's that guy next to you managing this moment, this national spotlight?
It seems like the head coach, Jamie Chadwell, is plenty loose for the playoffs tonight. You're jamming out to a little AC/DC before this one. I guess this big of a game, you got to keep it loose, Jamie.
You know, you don't want to be tight. You guys have earned the right to be here. We told them to soak it up and enjoy it. National television. Just a great opportunity for us to show the country what we're about. And so we're going to live it up and enjoy it.
You believe you're here right now, 25,000 strong tonight, rooting against you. I guess that's got to be a fun thing for this team.
It is. I think anytime you go to an opposing territory and it's going to be sold out, and obviously what the game means if you win and move on, there's nothing better than that. You know, and our team likes going into some territory like that and be a hostile environment and to see if we can shut them up.
Only 2 losses this year come in the state of Alabama, and this team's a pretty good one as well. Just talk a little bit about Jacksonville State if you can.
You had to bring up those Alabama trips, but they're a great team. They're top 10 on both sides of the ball on offense and defense. Got a lot of the thing that I've noticed is they got a lot of older kids, 5th-year seniors and juniors who played a lot of football, and so we're going to have to be on our best on both sides of the ball to have a chance. But we like our chance. I like our team. You know, our guys believe, and if you believe enough, sometimes you play better than what you are.
Final question for you: quarterback situation. What is it right now?
Well, they're both on the trip. We're going to make the decision pregame to see how they feel, see how they look. And if we get the okay from the doctors that are good to go, then you'll see them play.
He is not tipping his hand. Good luck, Jamie Chadwell, head coach of the Charleston Southern Buccaneers. They're going to take on Jacksonville State in about an hour and a half right here in Jacksonville, Alabama. Darren.
That's right, Scotty. But this is not the only game you're going to see this weekend. A busy 24 hours for you tomorrow, high noon at Williams-Brice Stadium. Fort Dorchester playing for their first state title. You'll be at that game. What's going on in Columbia tomorrow?
Jamie's been joining. Yeah, big game for Fort Dorchester tomorrow. Obviously, we'll head to Columbia and cover that one. And boy, are the Patriots a hot team right now. Dakereon Joyner, John Simpson, 2 of the biggest recruits in the country, will be showcasing their skill at Williams-Brice Stadium. So I'll get on the road tonight, drive back to Augusta, maybe Columbia, rest ahead, and then it's game time tomorrow at noon. So it should be a fun weekend ahead. Plenty of low country sports for you, but it all starts tonight right here in Jacksonville, Alabama.
All right, thank you, Scotty. Full coverage from Alabama, more from the Bucs. Director Scott Eisberg is the only TV man making the trip from Charleston down to Jacksonville. He joins us live field side in Alabama. Scotty, what's the current update of this game?
Hey, Darren, unbelievable what Charleston Southern has done tonight. They came down here. It didn't look good early, but boy, have the Buccaneers gained respect from the Jacksonville State fans. If you monitor social media, pretty amazing to see nationally what kind of respect Charleston Southern is getting. Jacksonville State is the #1 team in the country. They are a dominant #1 team. They have steamrolled every team in FCS really that they've played, except last week against Chattanooga. Charleston Southern right now only down 10 points, 48-38 right now. It's a 10-point game. 4:28 left to play. Jacksonville State is driving. They're on Charleston Southern's doorstep. Bottom line, Charleston Southern has played a respectful game. They've run the ball well. They've moved the ball well in the triple option. Bottom line, though, they just can't stop Jacksonville State's running attack. This quarterback for Jacksonville State, Eli Jenkins, is just running all over them. And, you know, he's an elite player. That's what's going to happen. But Charleston Southern has certainly done their job of upholding their name, if you will, in their first national TV spotlight.
Did it a little bit, but try to put this in perspective. What does this run do for Charleston Southern? What does this mean for what Jamie Chadwell is trying to do to build that program at CSU?
When you look behind me, Darren, this is a stadium of 22,000 fans tonight. 22,000 fans are here watching this game. Charleston Southern plays at a stadium of 4,000. So you could just see the difference in facility. You could hear the band. You could see everything that's going on, the pomp and circumstance around Jacksonville State. This is a team that should win this game and should win it handily. The fact that Charleston Southern has gained the buzz tonight, gained the buzz on social media, people are watching them who never would have watched them before. That is huge for their program. And of course, Jamie Chadwell's name is a big-time name now in coaching searches. Georgia Southern's opened up today. Chadwell will certainly be mentioned for that. But right now, he's certainly still concentrating on trying to win this game. Obviously, very unlikely it'll happen, but Charleston Southern certainly giving it their best go right now.
All right, thank you, Scotty. That's the That's the report from Alabama. We'll see what Buccaneers can do after that. I think that'll do it for sports. We'll have a full report from Alabama tomorrow on the news at 6. But for now, let's send it back over to Dean at the desk.
Darren, thank you. When we come back, an IOU paid back sports. Charleston Southern's march to a national title runs through the state of Alabama in a prime-time matchup against Jacksonville State. Sports 4's Scott Eisberg, the only local TV sports reporter there, joins us live from the stadium with more tonight. Scotty?
Hey, Dino, they say sweet home Alabama where skies are so blue. Well, the skies are not blue right now, but gosh, what a sunset it was here at Jacksonville State tonight. Up in the mountains in northeast Alabama, just a gorgeous sunset setting the stage for the big game tonight. Behind me on the field here at Jacksonville State, Charleston Southern just getting a look at the turf, walking around, checking it all out. Pretty funny, Jamie Chadwell, their head coach, just went over to the Jacksonville State student section and was reading all the signs about him, having some good fun with those kids over there. But it should be a heck of a matchup on the field tonight. As for the Buccaneers, their starting quarterback, Austin Brown, is cleared to go medically. That's a big deal for them. And this is just a stage for Charleston Southern. A 25,000-seat stadium compared to their 4,000-seat stadium back in North Charleston. National TV, ESPN2. It's a big deal. Jamie Chadwell, the head coach of the Buccaneers, will join us live coming up in about 10 minutes. For now, live in Jacksonville, Alabama, Scott Eisberg, Sports 4.
All right, looking forward to it. Still ahead, a family's dog.
Only on ABC News 4 tonight, Charleston Southern's march to a national title runs through the state of Alabama in a prime-time matchup against Jacksonville State. It's where we find ABC News 4's sports director Scott Eisberg gearing up for the big game. So you're in Jacksonville, Alabama. Scott, you've been to a lot of places. I mean, you visited a lot of minor league parks. Ever been in Jacksonville, Alabama?
You know, Dean, this is my first time in Jacksonville, Alabama. Last night we stayed in beautiful Anniston, Alabama. That's where the team stayed. They slept the night. Today they practiced at a local high school. It's actually a very nice place, very pleasant. A beautiful mountain range runs right through Jacksonville. It's in a little bit of a valley, if you will, but it is a hotbed for football. There is no question about that, because tonight Charleston Southern, the number 8 seed in their first playoffs ever, they've got to play Jacksonville State, the number 1 overall seed in the FCS playoffs. Jacksonville State, a pretty good team. Their only loss this year is to Auburn. Yes, the Auburn Tigers, and they took them down to the wire. As for Charleston Southern, the big news, their starting quarterback, Austin Brown, and their backup, Kyle Copeland, are both okay. They are medically cleared to play. Who knows how much they'll play, but medically they are good to go tonight for Jamie Chadwell's bunch. Just a monumental night for the Buccaneers as they look to upset number 1 and move on to the national semifinals.
Yes, definitely we have a little chip on our shoulder about them being the number 1 team in the country, but we think honestly in our locker room, we think that we are good enough to be the number 1 team in the country, and plus we've already beat a number 1 team in the country, so we just have that chip on our shoulder, that respect chip, as always.
As hard as the last couple years were for our team, losing the close ones and the big ones that we needed to win, has helped us this year greatly, because it reminds us every day of how close we were, and this year we were able to come through with every game that we needed to win. So moving on to this next one is just another one of those big games, and I think we'll be ready.
As for where we are right now, you might compare it to Columbia a bit. Not for size of town, but because everywhere you go, there are signs for the Gamecocks. Yeah, Jacksonville State is the other Gamecocks in college football. Their logo exactly the same as South Carolina, so every restaurant, sports bar you kind of walk in, not that I've been to any of those establishments, says Gamecocks right on the top. As for Charleston Southern, their head coach Jamie Chadwell, he'll join me live later on in sports at about 6:20 Eastern time. Kickoff of this game, 8 o'clock Eastern on ESPN2. For now, live in Jacksonville, Alabama, Scott Eisberg, Sports 4.
All right, Scotty, thank you. And happening tomorrow night, Charleston.
Big questions at quarterback after starter Austin Brown and the backup Kyle Copeland both knocked out of the game Saturday against the Citadel. Monday, they were doubtful to play. Tomorrow, the Bucs getting big news today, though, and not just that sports director Scott Eisberg was in Alabama. Scotty?
Good evening from downtown Anniston, Alabama. This is where Charleston Southern will stay tonight, rest their heads, and spend most of the day tomorrow before taking the 30-minute ride up the road to Jacksonville, Alabama, home of Jacksonville State, the #1 team in the country, the #1 seed in the playoffs. A huge night for Charleston Southern. They will play on national TV for the first time in school history. Who will be leading them? That's the question we've wanted to know all week long.
Both have gotten cleared to play, so we'll be ready to roll. Austin will be ready to go, and Kyle will be ready to come in as well. So right now we're full strength going forward.
Are they good to go, or are they? We'll see.
We'll see what happens. They've been cleared to go out there and play. Now whether they can take a hit or not, we'll see. But they did everything they were supposed to do this week, and we've got the okay that they can get out there and let it ride.
And nice to have kind of Danny and confidence in Danny if he has to be the guy to go.
It is. You know, if he has to go, he had a good week of practice for us, good prep. Getting back, not playing a while. Last week was good for him, got the soreness out. And so if he has to go, our guys have confidence in him as well that we can find a way to win a game.
Talk about being the game that all eyes are on. Of course, this is the one that ESPN is picking for that national TV coverage on a Friday night during prime time. And it's two hot teams. How about this stat? Charleston Southern has won 12 straight FCS football games. Jacksonville State has won 10. In Anniston, Alabama, with the Buccaneers, Scott Eisberg, Sports 4.
Thank you, Scotty. He'll have full coverage of that game tomorrow night at 11 o'clock. All right, that'll do it for sports. Let's go back to the news.
All right. Thank you, Darren. When we come back tonight,
we talk about a dancer during the daytime, but a presidential invite led him to decorate. We'll talk about that after this.
Catch Sports 4 on the Bobby Harton Show, weekdays at 4:25 on ESPN Radio.
From the ABC News 4 family to your family, happy holidays.